Hey everyone, so today we're going to dive into the world of classic Russian fairy tales, but probably not in the way you're used to. We're going to peel back all those layers of metaphor and try to find the real animals hiding inside these incredible stories. So, I want to kick things off with a pretty big question. What if our entire way of looking at these stories, the wise owls, the cunning foxes, is just wrong? What if by focusing so much on what they symbolize, we've been completely missing the point all along? Okay, let's get into it. When we think about animals in these old stories, we tend to see them through this one very specific lens. It's the way we've all been taught to see them for generations.
You know the drill, right? We see them as symbols. The fox isn't really a fox. He's just a stand-in for human cleverness. The owl isn't an owl. She's a metaphor for wisdom. They're basically tools, characters designed to teach us a lesson about ourselves. And in that view, the actual animal just kind of vanishes behind whatever it's supposed to mean.
But here's the thing. There's a massive flaw in looking at it that way. This totally human-centered view has created this huge blind spot in how we read these stories. And this problem, well, it has a name. And that name is anthropocentrism. It's this natural tendency we have to think that everything revolves around us, that the whole world should be interpreted through the filter of human experience. And according to the research we're diving into today, it's this exact bias that's caused us to completely misread the roles these animals are actually playing.
This quote from researcher Zara Kadirbakova just nails it. In our constant hunt for human meanings and secret messages, we've basically silenced the animal characters. We've turned them into props for our own human drama when, just maybe, they were supposed to be the main characters the whole time. So how do we fix this? Well, the research points to a whole new way of looking at things. By borrowing a couple of really powerful ideas from the field of animal studies, we can build a brand new lens to see these old stories through. And this table here perfectly shows that shift in thinking. We're moving away from an anthropocentric or human-centered view to an ecosystemic one. We stop seeing the animal as just a symbol and start seeing it as an agent, a character with its own motivations. And the focus moves from human psychology to something called animal specificity. So this new lens really asked us to look for two key things. First is animal agency. Are these animals actually making their own choices? Are they driving the plot? And second, animal specificity. Does the story remember that a horse is a horse, an animal that gets tired and has to eat, and not just some magical, tireless taxi? And believe me, this isn't just a theory. When you take this new lens and apply it to the original fairy tales, the evidence you find is, well, it's stunning. The animals aren't just characters. A lot of the time, they are running the entire show. Let's start with the warrior's horse, the Bogatyrsky steed, from the story The Firebird and Princess Vasilissa. Now, the human hero is supposed to be this young archer, but is he really the hero of this story? Okay, just look at this breakdown of the dialogue. It's not even close. The horse speaks 9 times, and it starts the conversation every single time. The human archer, he only speaks 3 times, and never once does he initiate anything. The horse is the one who warns him, advises him, comes up with every single plan. The human is basically just along for the ride. The horse is the real leader here, the true agent. Now, if you thought that was something, get ready for an even more mind-blowing example. In Prince Ivan and the Grey Wolf, the wolf isn't just a helper. He's the undisputed commander of the entire mission. I mean, this chart says it all, doesn't it? The Grey Wolf starts 12 key conversations that push the story forward. Prince Ivan, only 2. The wolf comes up with the plans, gives the orders, and even has to keep fixing the human's mistakes. It's amazing. And this is the clincher. The wolf has total agency. It chooses when to start its relationship with Ivan, and it chooses when to end it. The wolf is never the sidekick. It's a powerful, independent character who is in complete control of its own story. So, what does all this add up to? It means these aren't just stories about humans who happen to have animal pals. No, they reflect a profoundly different way of seeing the entire world. Ultimately, all this evidence points to these stories being born from an ecosystemic worldview, and that's a perspective where humans are not at the top of some pyramid. Instead, they're just one part of a huge web of life, and often they're in a much more humble, sometimes even weaker, position than the other creatures around them. So this way of thinking completely tosses out the idea of a human-animal hierarchy. The relationship here isn't master and servant, it's described as a companionate relationship.
The human hero is often totally helpless, pretty clueless, and desperately needs the animal's wisdom and power just to survive. They exist on an equal footing as partners in a shared world.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. You know, in an age where we're all struggling with our relationship with the natural world, what if these ancient stories, the ones we thought we knew inside and out, what if they actually hold a blueprint for a more balanced, a more respectful way of living? What if the key isn't about inventing something new, but about finally learning to listen, again, to the wisdom of the past?